Alrighty, everybody, welcome to the Casual Sports Talk Podcast, Week 9 Stocks Edition. And now we got the most important and very important thing that we need to talk about in this country right now. These stocks! Welcome, everybody!
Yeah, that's what I had in my mind.
Yeah, let's do it. But I will say this, as a fellow Americans, we can all agree, no matter what, if you're Republicans or Democrats or independents, we can all agree on one thing. We all hate Jerry Jones and the Cowboys.
What about the Green Party, Stu? What about those guys?
Well, we also the Green Party. Yeah, sorry, Libertarian. Sorry, everybody. But we can all agree on one thing. The New Orleans Saints are trash. We can agree as an American.
Yeah. I mean, the Saints, yeah, we can agree on that. Yeah, they lost 7 straight games, fired their head coach. So, yeah,
Yes.
we'll see.
And Spencer
their last win was what, against the Cowboys?
Yes. I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, we can talk about, like I said, so week 9, we got the stocks options right over here. We had a couple teams that, like I said, that had the bye week. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. They had the bye right here. I gave them a 7. Chris gave them a 6. And Douglas gave them a 7. And like I said, we're not going to change these stocks because, like I said, they had the bye. There's no change. There's no need to. So that is why. And then we got the 49ers right here. I gave them the 4. And Douglas and Chris both gave them 5 for right now. So, like I said, we're going to keep them right over here. We're going to keep this record right over here. So, any questions? And now we got to talk about the first week right now. And I guess we'll start about it. What's your thoughts about this week, gentlemen, about the NFL?
It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, as a Lions fan, you should love it. As a Browns fan, terrible. I mean, I wasn't really expecting anything from the Browns. We traded one of our better defensive ends to the Lions today. So that's just great.
The Lions, are you telling me the Browns are heading to America's embarrassment now?
Well, I think last week the median was a 1. I think we all put them at a 1. So
yes, dude, that right's reserved for the Cowboys. Don't change the subject.
Oh no, we're
not a 1, okay? We at least beat the Browns.
Yeah, sure. Week 1. Now you guys are 3-5 now. So you guys have been 2-5 since that win. Good job.
Yeah, great work, guys.
How dare all of you? And I'm so disappointed in you. And now I guess we'll talk about the first week in the NFL. We'll talk about the Houston Texans.
The first game of this week, not the first week. We're not going to talk about the first week.
Oh, we're not talking about week 1? Oh, I thought we were going back in time. Return back to time. Anyway, so it looks like it's the Texans versus the Jets, where the Jets finally somehow figured out how to win games. And they beat the Jets. I mean, the Texans lost 13-21. So I guess I'll start with me on the Texans. Boy, I feel like this is kind of a little bit of a letdown. Maybe could we say it's a trap game for the Texans? Granted, they decided to, like last week, they decided to take San Francisco's injury bowl and give it to the Houston Texans right now. So, as of right now, they would still make the postseason. They are 6-3 right now. They're getting kind of close because the Colts could technically take that spot right now. Could they beat the Baltimore Ravens? I'm not feeling good at the Baltimore. I think for this team right now, they're going down a little bit. Hopefully they can pull it off even with all these injuries, but I'm thinking of going down to the 6. I wouldn't be surprised if they go down to the 5 if they still compete and still continue to lose. I mean, those injuries are definitely hurting the Texans right now. So we'll start with you, Christopher.
Yeah, short and simple. I mean, you can't beat the team who had the catch of the year, if not the catch of the decade. Garrett Wilson, back of the end zone, one-handed grab. That was amazing. Next week, Texans are playing the Tigers. Sorry, not the Tigers, the Lions. Yeah, it's a home game. Sorry, I was still thinking Detroit. Yeah, I mean, there's still 2 games ahead in that AFC South division. So yeah, last week we all had them at a 7. They'd still make the playoffs, but based on where they would, like you said, Stu, they'd be playing the Ravens. It'd be in Baltimore if the playoffs started today. So yeah, they're not going to beat the Ravens if the playoffs started today. So yeah, easy 6 for the Texans.
All right. Now, are you Douglas? This is an important vote that you're going to have right now. I mean, in this country, what do you think about the Texans right now?
Well, still, I'm hoping to go visit the Texans game here. They play the Lions on Monday night, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you going to Detroit to watch
Sunday night?
Oh no, I'm not. Oh, Sunday night. And then they play Houston. Then plays at Dallas. So that's a tough 2-game stretch. Said no one.
How dare you? We are
No, but I agree. I mean, you could see that they were just a depleted team from injuries, which is always a bummer. But current market value, they're a 6.
Yeah, like I said, I think we can all agree. I don't think they can beat Baltimore at this point. Like, I think Baltimore's a much more better team right now. Just the sense of I think they're clicking a lot better. Granted, they did have that ugly loss a week ago, but I do.
Yeah, Baltimore should be 7-2 realistically, but we can come to that later.
Yes, and now I guess we got to talk about the Jets, who now won the game. It is still confusing how the Jets. I guess because it's just all the injuries, but. Even with all this Jets team is confusing. So we'll start with you, Christopher. What do we talk about the Jets, who are now 3-6?
First off, big shout out to Doug for having the Jets on his stock option from last week. So good job there. Yeah, like I said, if you have the catch of the year, catch of the decade, and Garrett Wilson, you should be winning that game, and as they did. Devontae Adams, he scored his first touchdown with the Jets with Aaron Rodgers there. So, yeah, good job for them. Hopefully they continue to click. Not that I'm really rooting for the Jets. Let's see. Division-wise, they're in second place, but they're still 4 games out from the Bills. We all put them at a 2 last week for the median. Right now they're in 10th place in the conference. I guess from a 2 to a 3. I mean, 3 is still not the greatest, but yeah, they beat a heavy AFC contender in the Texans. So, yeah, put them as a 3 for me.
Oh, look at that. Now we switch it up to you, Douglas. What is your thoughts?
I mean, it's hard because I've been high on this team for a long time. So, like, I agree with a lot of Chris's logic. Like, we all kind of assumed that eventually something would click there. And it was nice to see it finally happen. So I'll also bump them up to a 3. It was a nice win.
I mean, they did have a nice win, and now it's up to me. And like I said last week, I think we all gave them the 2s.
Yeah, we did.
Yes. So for me, they did have a good win, even though, granted, I think this is more of an injury. I think this mostly shows that more of the Texans. And also, we had a blooper this week because we have a bad case in this country right now. And we need to stop this illegal dropping the ball at the 1-yard line before the touchdown. Please stop doing that, Jets.
I mean, hey, the Jets could have won 28-13 because that went in the back of the end zone for a touchback. So yeah, it could have been a lot worse. But yeah,
like I said, I'm just saying, if I'm an NFL player, I'm holding that football like a baby.
I can understand, high school, maybe in college, but not in the NFL. Come on.
Yeah, I feel like we do not need to drop the ball. Like, I would protect that like a baby. I would basically make sure, when I get my touchdown dance, I'm rockabye like that football, like it's a baby. Rockabye football. Let me get a touchdown. Help my team win because we rushed it all the way to the end. So, but they did beat them on the Texans, and yeah, I think I'll definitely give them the good 3. In my opinion, I think that this is definitely much more of a improvement, but I don't think they're going to make the postseason. Let's be honest. We can all agree, gentlemen, as Americans, that the Jets.
I mean,
right now, I don't know if I'm willing to just hard agree on that.
Wow.
Making the playoffs isn't out of the picture for them. They're 3. I mean, as a team that's 3-6, technically they're only 2 games out of the playoffs. But yeah, it'd be a tough thing to do when you're midway through the season.
I mean, my Cowboys are 3-5. Does that mean we have a
preseason pick? I did have the Jets being in 4th place in the AFC, but that's probably not going to happen.
Not going to happen. You're not.
Faith in Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams.
You do not have any faith in that one. So
I'm not losing faith. I still have a little bit of faith.
The faith is still less in this one. But now we will see. We got done. We got to talk about the Dolphins. Even with Tua is back, they can't beat them. They can't join them. They were so close. They had a lead, 27-30, but they could not do that. So we're going to start with you, Douglas. How do you feel about the Dolphins losing this game this week?
Man, like it's rough to be a Dolphin right now, man. Like they're playing good, to their credit. Like Tua gave them a spark. That's for darn sure. Just kind of hopefully they start doing something with it. Because it's like they should probably have won both of his starts, Like they were super competitive. They had leads. I think they probably had a favorable percentage in this one, if I recall.
Yeah.
And then to still lose it again, you're just kind of like, man.
Well, technically, I think the Bills had the more higher percentages the whole game, except for towards the end.
Well, let me look at this. Yeah. Weren't they winning at some point in the end?
Yeah, Dolphins were winning at halftime 10-6.
Yeah.
And at halftime, Dolphins had a 54% chance of winning. But then I'm surprised that the Dolphins were even that close in that game. But
yeah, they got it to 27-27.
True.
Yeah, and then unfortunately,
with a minute and a half left in the game.
And then Tyler Bass decided to kick a 61-yarder and just end the game. Buffalo finally knows how to kick to a correct field goal and not a wrong field goal.
It's like Josh Allen. It's like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. You can't give him time left in the game to drive down and take care of business with the kicker. But God bless you. But yeah, last week we all gave the Dolphins a 2.
Yeah.
2-6.
It is so funny that I muted myself and yet you still saw me sneeze. It is impressive. But I guess we'll start with you, Douglas. What would you get? So like I said, and also this might be the tough week right now because we're gonna have a lot of 2s this week. I think there's like 10 teams that are gonna need 2s, and we're gonna have a discussion in this country to figure out which one's the trashiest of the trash.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, they can't go up because they lost. I mean, granted, they played a nice game, but that doesn't mean really much. In the NFL, it doesn't matter. We've seen teams lose by 40 and then have a surprising win the next week. So I'm having a hard time moving them up. They're definitely not a 1. Like they just hung with one of the top 5 teams in the NFL. So, I mean, but I got to keep them at 2 out of respect for the game.
Yes. And I feel like I agree with you, Douglas. I mean, like I said, granted, they did get close to a really good Buffalo team, and I would give them credit for that. But here's also the problem. I think if this was week 1, I think I'd probably give them the Dolphins a good 6. Or maybe leave even a 5. Like, okay, you know what? They were close. They did good. But we're now in week 9. We're in the halfway stretch. We're in the home stretch. I know 2 is back. But is this team going to make the postseason? No.
No way. They're 2-6.
They're 2-6. They're in a tough build. And I kind of feel like, and I will kind of say this, I feel like Tua Shinada came back just this year. It's too much of a hole now. At this point, I think he should have just taken his losses. If you wanted to play, go for next year, in my opinion. So, with that being said, it's going to be the 2 for right now.
Easy for me. I'm going to keep him at a 2. But question, do you guys know, is Tua's contract up, or where's he at with the money and the years?
I think he just signed it.
Yeah, he signed, and I think he got paid. And I think he got paid.
Oh, he's one of the quarterbacks that got paid. Yeah, that's what I assume. Yeah. But yeah, the Dolphins were clicking. Devon Achane, he had 2 touchdowns. They threw a 7-yard touchdown pass to Jalen Waddle. Tyreek Hill still only has 1 touchdown through 9 weeks of the season, which obviously for supposedly being one of the best wide receivers in the league, that's very not good for only having 1 touchdown for the entire season so far. So they're playing Monday night next weekend against the Rams in Los Angeles. I'm not saying that the Dolphins are going to win by any means, but I feel like there should be more, if they were able to click this week against like Doug mentioned, one of the best teams in the AFC and the Buffalo Bills. They should be able to click a little bit more next Monday, and hopefully Tyreek Hill gets second touchdown of the season, if not his third, second and third. So yeah, easy two for the Dolphins for sure.
We've got triple twos. Can you believe it? And I think we kept them at the two. So I feel like this week.
Yeah, because there's certainly not a one. No way.
No,
with all the star power they have.
I think I don't think they deserve the one, in my opinion. And we can all agree with all the star power. And they came close to Buffalo. That's at least a good, I feel like for me, and I think when we're going to discuss the ones, I think the ones are basically you're bad. You're in the 2-8 or 2-6 or 2-7. Number one, and two, you're getting blown out by a lot of games.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple easy teams that have my vote for the one.
Yes. And
the Dolphins are not one of them.
And now we get to discuss the Buffalo Bills, and I will go first. So Buffalo is now 7-2 right now. It has been pretty interesting. I honestly feel like that this is I feel like they haven't lost anything, even though they lost a lot of things. And they're still clicking. If I told you week preseason that Buffalo is going to be the number one team in the NFC East, I think we all be like, what?
I mean, I think we all could agree on that.
Yeah, we'd be like, no, I feel like this is probably the third bet. It's probably going to be the Dolphins.
Actually, yeah, I didn't even have the Buffalo Bills making the playoffs. Man, that was dumb on my part.
None of us had Buffalo in the postseason.
Really? None of us did?
No.
Well, yeah, man, I think we all saw them get rid of Stephon Diggs and make a bunch of unique moves that were there's no way they'll get better.
This past year, right?
Yeah.
They still have James Cook. That's right.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that they're now the seventh.
They're 7-2. Josh Allen always finds a way.
Josh Allen, honestly, has been a great quarterback, great regular season quarterback, in my opinion.
So, yeah, last week we all agreed upon the Buffalo Bills being a 7.
Now, this is a good question. Do I bump them up to the 8? Because, like I said, I do think they can still beat Denver. I think they can still beat the Denver Broncos, and plus the Denver.
Well, yeah, that's an easy first round. Well, not about easy, but should be an easy first round matchup for the Bills to win at home.
Yeah.
But you got to worry about the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's a tough one because then they have to play against the Ravens and the Chiefs. I mean, they could get lucky and play against Pittsburgh. Can they beat Pittsburgh?
I mean, do we know that Pittsburgh's that?
Yeah, I don't even know if that's saying, it could be lucky against playing Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh's a great, solid team.
That's tough. And I don't know. I feel like I'm too I don't know if I can give them that 8. So I feel like I don't feel confident that this team could probably get the beat Pittsburgh. So I'm just going to still probably give Buffalo the 7 for right now.
Yeah, I'm going to keep them at the exact same mark as last week. Agreeing with you, Stu, 7 because, like I mentioned, they could probably beat Bo Nix and the Broncos in week 1 of the postseason. But yeah, you're going to play either the Chargers or the Steelers or the Texans or the Ravens, depending how the seeding goes. And yeah, Ravens are a tough team. And then, I mean, don't the Bills always choke up in the playoffs too? So
that's true.
They don't get it done in the postseason.
Yeah, just tell Buffalo fans and say ride right, and they will get triggered. Just
honestly, Josh Allen, he looked like an MVP caliber player on Sunday. Yeah, he had 1 interception, but three touchdowns, all to separate players. I mean, you got Matt Collins, Ray Davis, whoever that guy is, then Quentin Morris, whoever that gentleman is. But he looked like he knows how to share the ball, throw it to the guys that are open when they need to be passed to. But yeah, he made the Bills look amazing on Sunday. But yeah, playoff Josh Allen is different than regular season Josh Allen. So yeah, easy 7 for the Bills at the moment.
All right.
Yeah, agreed. Triple it up.
Triple 7s. We got the lucky 7s, Douglas. And why would you give them a?
Well, I mean, they played Buffalo this year, and it wasn't even a competitive game,
The Bills played Buffalo?
The Bills played Buffalo. You remember.
Dang,
the Bills played. Yeah. They beat themselves somehow. Josh Allen choking that one, too.
Buffalo themselves.
Yeah, they just be continuing to Buffalo. But
It
no,
is-
they got destroyed by Baltimore this year. And so like I just don't see how in a playoff environment they beat a team that smoked them.
Yeah. So I honestly, yeah, that's why I probably do agree. I think Buffalo is still at 7. I just always feel like that they're good, but then it's like, can they get over the hump? And I still don't think they're going to get over the hump, but that kind of makes sense.
I think we're all saying it.
Yeah, so we can all agree on that one. As Americans, we can all agree on Election Day that Buffalo cannot get to that hump for some reason.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Yep. I mean, it'd be nice if they did.
Yes. And now we got the Denver Broncos getting
The
beat
Broncos
up. Getting beat up by the Baltimore Ravens badly, 10-41. Oh my goodness. We'll start with you, Christopher. What is your thoughts? What's your thoughts about the Broncos country? The ride never ends right now because they lost. And
So this should be pretty easy. Broncos, we all gave them a 6 last week. It was an away game. It was in Baltimore. You got an MVP caliber player, well, reigning MVP as well in Lamar Jackson. Let's see. Let me pull this thing out. Yeah, Lamar Jackson had 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. What I'm seeing. Bo Nix, he played completely under the weather from what he's been playing the last 4 or 5 games. We gave him a 6 last week. They'd still be in 7th place in the conference. They'd be going up against the Bills.
which is
They'd be making the playoffs. Yeah, a 6. Plus the Broncos. Let's see who they play next week. Or maybe they have a bye week. Oh, no, they play the Chiefs. We might have a different number or stock option for the Broncos. But right now,
Broncos might get that. They might go down to the 5. Oh my God! If we have like the opposite stocks, when shareholders have like the stock that says this team is going to go bankrupt, I feel like I would totally buy that on the Denver Broncos this week.
Like some insider trading, yeah.
Not insider trading, but like, hey, like this company is about to go belly up, so it's like
insider knowledge, which is
yeah.
I don't know if that's insider trading, but yeah, insider knowledge.
Yeah, so I would definitely put the Broncos in not a good spot. Now it's for you, Douglas. What is your thoughts about the Denver Broncos this week?
Once again, I'm feeling like I agree. Just a nice 6. Like they're kind of a team that feels like the Steelers last week, or the Steelers last year, where it's like they're winning some games that they probably shouldn't win. But like at the end of the day, I mean, they got destroyed.
Yeah, it's not looking good. They got destroyed by the Ravens. I mean, granted, it is at home. It was at Baltimore, but still, I think you should be at least competitive. This team looks like, I feel like it's like the Broncos and I would say the Chargers are in that borderline of like, I could see they're either going to go to football hell right now or they make the postseason and it's like the Steelers and they just get destroyed. Like I could see if they played against Buffalo, I think they would lose like 20 points. Like I don't see this team being competitive. So for that reason, I'm going to still keep them at the 6. They would technically make the postseason, but I wouldn't be shocked if they don't make it. So honestly, I feel like Denver, I feel more shaky than the Chargers right now. I'm making the postseason on those 2 teams.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's a hot take. I like it, but I don't know if I agree with it, but that's a good hot take for sure.
Yes. And like I said, we may disagree on my opinions, but my opinions are still right.
That's an incorrect opinion right there.
Boo! Boo! But anyway, we got to talk about the Baltimore Ravens dominating this game right there. Was pretty good. King Henry got his 100th touchdown right now of his career.
Oh, really? Wow. Nice.
Yeah. So, like I said, good for you, Derrick Henry. And like I said, they would make the postseason. They are the strongest wild card team as of right now. And we'll start with you, Douglas. What are your thoughts about the Baltimore Ravens?
Wow, yeah. Didn't realize they're a wild card team. That's crazy.
Yes. Oh.
Doug, looks like you put yourself on mute.
Oh, yeah.
So, Doug, you and I put the Ravens last week at a 7. Stuart put them at a 6.
I mean, I'm gonna put them back up to an 8. Like I've felt strong on this team all year. This is the team that MVP. I've said that they were probably the best team in the AFC to me. Like I still think they look better than the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs are undefeated. You can call me a hater if you want.
Chiefs hater.
Yeah, I mean that's why I can't give either a 9, but like I just see these as the 2 best teams.
I don't know. I mean, Baltimore, I feel like it's been in this weird, like, it's like ebb and flow, seeing how it goes. Are they going to
Stuart, the Baltimore Ravens should have beat the Browns. I know at the end of the day, a loss is a loss.
But I mean, like I said, that's what I was saying. They had
reason to lose that game.
And then they choke on bad games. But then they choke on bad games. But I still think they can beat the Texans. Can they beat the Chiefs in Kansas City, in Arrowhead?
Tough game coming up Thursday night against the Bengals. I mean, it's in Baltimore, so
yeah,
that'll be a true testament to see where the Bengals range on how they can do against somewhat good teams. Because Bengals are in the playoff hunt.
I mean, Douglas, I might have to disagree with you. I just don't know if they can still beat the because they would still be the strongest team, the weakest team that would have to play against the Chiefs. Can they beat the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't think so. So I think as of right now, I think
an 8 doesn't mean you're going to beat the Chiefs. An 8 means you're going to beat the AFC Championship game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't guarantee they'll beat the Chiefs, but they should have probably beat the Chiefs.
I mean, they should have, but they one toe went in, one toe went out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't give them a 9 still.
Yeah, just for that toe, you never gave him the one.
You should cut his toe off.
You were like, he should have been a champ and cut that toe off. Gave him a 9.
So easy for me. I'm gonna agree with Doug here. Gonna disagree with you, Stuart. So your opinion's wrong here.
What? What? How dare you?
So Ravens at an 8 here because Lamar Jackson almost threw for 300 yards on 16 completed passes. That's amazing in itself for 3 touchdowns. And then you have the running back scoring 2 other touchdowns, running for over 100 yards. And this guy, Derrick Henry, I'm not sure, is he getting close to 30 years of age? This guy in week 9 of the NFL season has already eclipsed 1,000 yards rushing. Like this team, they have great defense. Their offense is impressive. Zay Flowers is looking amazing. And you're welcome, Doug, for that fancy football trade for Zay Flowers.
Didn't help me out this week.
Because I had to get rid of Rashid Shaheed or whatever his name is because he's injured for the rest of the season. So all they left in that trade is Austin Eckler. But back to what we're talking about. Yeah, Baltimore Ravens are looking like a complete team. Running back, wide receiver, reigning MVP quarterback. He might be the back-to-back MVP going forward. So yeah, easy 8 for the Ravens in my opinion.
All right, so that's pretty much that one for.
So yeah. What Zay Flowers had? I think he had like 29 or 30 fantasy points. So yeah, good job, dude.
He tried, man. He tried.
Hey, he tried so hard, but he couldn't do this. And then speaking of teams that could not try to win this game, your favorite team, Christopher, the Brownies.
They are my favorite team. Bleed orange brown every week.
Yes, even though they might.
Especially I bleed when I cut myself because they can't win. Asterisk, I don't really cut myself. Even if they win or lose, don't cut myself. That was a joke. Just to show I bleed orange and brown.
I mean, I think they might be. I think they might need to change their new stadium since they are going to have a new stadium.
Good thing they're changing locations in 5 years.
Yeah, they're going to change the location, and they should have a dome, and it's just a giant toilet since this team is in the toilet.
Yeah. But make sure there's a good handle so you can flush a team down the drain.
But like I said, I feel like I think Juju Smith-Schuster was correct when the Browns going to Browns, and the Browns went back to the same old Browns. But we should start with you, Christopher. What's your thoughts about this loss against the Cleveland Browns?
Oh, it was disgusting. Yeah, plain and simple. It's a home game. We were actually favored by 1.5 going into the game. Chargers were 4-3 coming in. Browns were 2-6. So, should we have been favored by 1? Probably not. But you also had Jameis Winston, who put on a show against the Ravens. But also the Ravens are the team that leads the league in dropped interceptions. So that's the reason Jameis Winston last week didn't have like 4 or 5 interceptions. And clearly that's a direct correlation going into this game because Jameis Winston with 3 interceptions. I mean, I like that we're passing the ball more because he threw the ball 46 times. Yeah, granted, he only got 26 completions, but I'm pretty sure he led the league again back-to-back weeks in passing attempts. Unfortunately, he threw interceptions this week, unlike last week. We only scored 10 points, and that last touchdown was a Cedric Tillman garbage time touchdown. So we should have lost the game 27-3. So, like I mentioned, I have a couple teams in my mind that are the 1. Last week, all 3 of us had them at a 2. This team is a 1.
Wow. Womp, womp,
Well,
I still like having Jameis Winston as our starter. Next week's our bye week. Hopefully, we'll practice more and then play good against Thursday night when we come back from the bye week against Steelers at home.
If we had the soundboard, I would have totally had the prices right. Like when you lose the prize, like that sound. That's what I feel like.
When the cliffhangers climb up the cliff and then falls off.
That's what Cleveland does.
Well, Stuart, now get a soundboard for next season.
Next season, I'll get the soundboard. Now it's time for you, Douglas. All right, we got.
I'll keep them at a 2, just because I think there's a couple teams that are more likely to get the number 1 pick.
Yeah. Now this is a good question.
Thank you for your edge rusher.
Yes.
You're welcome. I hope he excels. It's amazing going from a team that's 2-7 to a team that's 8-1. Lions are 8-1, right? We're 7-1, 8-1.
7-1, I believe.
7-1. Yeah. What a great feeling that must be for Zadarius Smith. Smart man, his agent, great guy for doing that for him. So heck yeah.
Yeah, I think number 1, the Browns. It looks like they gave up the season. The season's done for the Browns. I feel like
it's been done.
Yeah.
Ever since Deshaun Watson was named our starting quarterback, season's been done.
Yes, the moment. That should be a meme. It's like the moment of disaster, and it's like the Hindenburg disaster, and then they have this disaster and this disaster, and it's just like Deshaun. The Browns acquired Deshaun Watson for this amount of money. This is what I felt like the moment of disaster. And I will honestly I do agree. I think, I know we're probably done with the Deshaun for this, but this is honestly, what is the worst decision right now for this year? Ooh. The trade for Bryce Young from the Bears or the Browns getting Deshaun Watson? Just taking
all for this year, or you mean in general of the last?
In general, on the last the trades that happened a couple years ago. What was worse? What do you think was a bigger Bryce Young,
that was a pretty bad trade or whatever happened in that situation. But the amount of money we're giving to Deshaun Watson,
and the worst.
I should put the over under if you're going to bring up the same thing next week. Or no, I can't. We can't bring it up next week because the Browns don't play.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. That's why I'm very talk about it. So I feel like for right now, I'm more agreeing to leaning on Doug. I think this team is trash, but I don't think they're the trashiest of trash, in my opinion. They did beat Baltimore. So I'll give them right there to the 2. I know you're disappointed, Christopher, that your Browns team is garbage. And I'm
not too disappointed. I'm more of a realist than anything. I knew they were going to be bad this year.
And as a person,
actually not really, because I had them making the playoffs as a 7 seed. So I don't know how realistic I was.
Yes, and as a person that hated Deshaun Watson since the whole incident, you deserve all the pain, Browns fans. I'm sorry. This is what you get.
Thanks, Stuart. Appreciate that.
You should have never gotten Deshaun, and I feel like now you agree with me more now. Just saying. I'm just saying. But like I said, Browns are 2. And now we got to talk about another trash heap.
How about we talk about the Chargers because they beat the Browns?
That's right. We got to talk about the Chargers. I totally forgot about that. Not another trash heap.
You're such a Harbaugh hater. Jeez.
Yeah, come on, Stu.
Don't even give him a time of day. Unbelievable.
Sorry. You didn't know it was not because I accidentally forgot about the Chargers and no.
So we all gave the Chargers a 6 last week.
Yes. They would make the postseason. As of right now, Douglas, they would make the postseason, and they would play against the Steelers.
In Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh.
Very nice. You're starting with me on this one?
Yes, I'm sorry. I should start with you.
So, I mean, what did I give him last week? A 6?
Yeah, we all gave him a 6.
I mean, that feels right. Like, I don't think I want to bump them up to a 7. Like, it'll depend a lot on the matchup. Like, they're still not quite explosive enough in the passing game to like threaten a team like Baltimore to me. But they're still a pretty fun team, you know.
Yeah, I feel
Like I feel pretty confident I give them a 6.
Yeah, they were very controlled in this game. Granted, they should have won this game decisively because, like I said, the Browns won a touchdown in garbage time. To be honest with you, it doesn't really matter. Like in that point, yeah, I think honestly this was a blowout in this game. So Herbert's looking a lot better. I think you're kind of right, Douglas. Harbaugh is definitely making this team a lot better. I know.
He's got them just doing fundamental stuff, man. They're tackling, they're running well.
Yeah.
Dobbins had a really nice game.
Yeah, Dobbins was doing good. J.K. Dobbins is doing good.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, J.K. all day, Ohio State. What a good duo they have over there.
It is kind of funny to think.
It shows the eliteness of Harbaugh right there.
Yeah,
he's willing to put it all aside.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to think. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins was like a quarterback, and like I said, now he's like
he's a running back. But I know what you're talking about, Sue. I know.
Yeah, it's crazy that he's now a running back and he's done really well. But
what do you mean? When was he a quarterback?
He's always been a running back. So did he play quarterback in high school or something? He's always
did he play quarterback in college?
No, that was I think it was at I can't think of it. But when I was trying to think of the quarterback for Ohio State when JK was there.
Yeah.
But he was not a quarterback.
All right, I got it wrong. Stu is wrong. I'm sorry. But
I've seen Cardale Jones, maybe.
Yeah. That was like the year when we had like 3 quarterbacks and we won a national championship, which is crazy. But anyway, how do I feel about the Chargers? Can they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers? No, they cannot beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost to them by 10. So last time. And I'm still going to probably keep them at the 6 right now. They look good, but I feel like they're in that. I feel like they're a little bit. They're leaning now towards. I think they can probably make more of the wild card spot than the shakiness of like the earlier weeks right now for the Chargers. So,
yeah, it's impressive that the NFC West at the moment would have 3 teams making the playoffs. Obviously, you got the Chiefs, you got the Broncos, then you have the Chargers. And yeah, Justin Herbert, he struggled last year completely. It's great to see him turning the tides and becoming the person that people thought he was going to be. He almost threw for 300 yards on 18 complete passes, 2 touchdowns. And he had J.K. all day, J.K. Dobbins, 2 touchdowns. They manhandled the Browns in Cleveland. I mean, that's not really much to celebrate about. But yeah, I'm glad that we're also taking into consideration the playoff pictures when we're doing our stock options because, yeah, they would lose. I'm sorry, you guys probably already said it before. Yeah, they would definitely lose to the I'll say definitely because I can't tell the future. But, yeah, going forward, they would lose to the Steelers if the playoffs started today. Like if it was this upcoming Sunday, Chargers in Pittsburgh, I would take the Pittsburgh Steelers in that game. So, yeah, keep them at a 6 for me. Absolutely.
666 is right now the mark of the beast for the Chargers. Harbaugh and all. Oh my God! And now
it's Harbaugh mania.
It's Harbaugh mania. And speaking of no mania, let's be honest, we got another trash team right now.
Speaking of a team that fired their quarterback, or not the quarterback, their coach.
Oh yeah, we should probably start about this, gentlemen. I guess I would go first. What is your thoughts about the second coach getting fired right now in the NFL season? The Saints coach getting fired in week 7, losing the Panthers 22-23. My God, both of these teams wanted to lose this game, I felt like.
I mean, how do we feel about that? I feel like he deserves to be fired because, yeah, you started off the season 2-0. You had the guy who was top candidate for MVP in Alvin Kamara, and then you lose 7 straight. Like, you can't, like, at least throw a win in there or 2, but lose 7 straight, yeah, you deserve it.
Now I got to think about this, and this is a very tough question. I really have to think about, is this team deserve the 1, in my opinion?
Ooh, that's good.
Where, like I said, and I'm looking at their last 4 games. Last 5, you lost 13 to the Chiefs. You got absolutely obliterated by 24 against the Buccaneers. At home, mind you. At home. You lost 22 to the Broncos at home. You lost 22 against the Chargers, and you lost 1 point to Bryce Young and the Panthers. That's not a good record. That's not a good sign. Number 2, you fired your coach. That ain't a good sign either in the regular season. That's really bad. That honestly knows that you are not looking good right now.
They lost to the Panthers?
Yes.
Yeah, they lost by 1 this on Sunday. In all fairness, Saints had the lead at the end of the first quarter. They had the lead at the end of the first half.
Yeah, good shout.
They had the lead going into with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But at the end of the day, a loss is a loss.
This is a bad loss. I'm sorry. They need the yodely. They need the yodely who in the Price is Right now. Yoo-hoo, yodely ho. That's what the Saints are right now. Honestly, I know the Patriots have that number 1 pick. I honestly think it should be the New Orleans Saints right now. Just how trash of this team of an organization it is. And also, you lost 7 games in a row, so that's not good. So, Christopher, what is your thoughts about the New Orleans Saints?
Yeah, I would. Man, you're right. So you had some great points there. I mean, looking at the win probability for the majority of the game, and I'm talking, looks like it doesn't say how percentage-wise throughout the entire game, what percentage-wise they could have won the game, but it looks like they could have won the game 95% of the time on Sunday. Losing 7 in a row. Yeah, is Chris Olave? Is he still injured?
I believe he is.
Okay, so you're without Rashid Shaheed. You're out without Chris Olave. Yeah, Alvin Kamara had over 200 yards of total offense, 155 rushing yards, 60 yards receiving. At the end of the day, that doesn't really matter because, like I said, a loss is a loss. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, Stu. We all gave them a 2 last week. Yeah, Saints are a 1 in my opinion, unless they turn something around. And then next week they play the 6-3 Atlanta Falcons. We'll see how that game goes because it's going to be in New Orleans. So maybe there'll be a surprise, but doubt it. We'll see.
Doubt it. You're doubting it. So you're going to give them the 1?
I will.
All right, Douglas. Please give them the 1. But I'm not pressuring you. I'm not persuading you right now. But
Stu, I think my head's still stuck in week 2. They're just remember them beating up on the Cowboys over and over and over.
I don't want to talk about it.
But unfortunately, this team is the 1. You lost to the 1 last week, you become the 1. The rules be simple.
I like that. You lose the 1, you become the 1.
It's like the Game of Thrones. We gave you the crown away to the Panthers to then crown it to another NFC South team, the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, man, the Saints I would have never expected them to be in the spot. When they were beating up on the Cowboys, we all thought that was such an amazing win. We were so up on this team to this. It's crazy. I've never seen anything quite like it.
That has been a disappointment of failure and gratitude. And now we got to talk about the Carolina Panthers. So we'll start with you, Christopher. What's your thoughts about the Carolina Panthers?
On the lines of what Doug said, if you lose the 1, you are the 1. But what happens if you are the 1 and you win? We all gave the Panthers a 1 last week. I'm going to increase them to a 2. Even though Bryce Young got outplayed by the other quarterback in Derek Carr. 171 yards passing off 16 completions. Chuba Hubbard pretty much won that game, but I'll give the Panthers the benefit of the doubt. They had 3 touchdowns that game. And, yeah, that's impressive. I think that might be the most touchdowns they've ever scored in a game this season so far. I could be wrong. They might have. Yeah, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, from a 1 to a 2 for the Panthers.
Ooh, we got a 2 right over here. And now,
well, let's see. The Panthers, who they play next week? Maybe they have a bye week. Yeah, let's see. Skimming it. I think they have a bye week next week.
Yeah, and then I think they play another really bad team. I think they play the Giants in Europe next.
Oh no!
Oh,
yeah, you're right.
This is the greatest.
Next week it's Giants Panthers, and that game is it's in Germany. Woo!
Yeah, I will say,
give those Germans a real good showing of the American Football League, or the National Football League, but American football in their country.
Gentlemen, I'm going to tell my nieces and nephews that this is the Super Bowl. This week with this game.
Do you have nieces and nephews in Germany?
No, I'm going to tell my niece. I'm going to tell my nephews.
Hey, go to the game. It's the Super Bowl.
That's the Super Bowl right there, right? You should tell Douglas. You should tell your nieces and nephews that this is the Super Bowl. This game.
So I'm going to make sure we're all up at 6 a.m. to put on our makeup to watch the game.
Yeah, let's go. Anyway, Douglas, what's your thoughts on the Carolina Panthers?
I'll just copy Chris. Like, you beat a team, you were a 1, you can be a 2. We'll allow it.
Yeah, it is crazy to think, and I totally forgot. And I looked at the Panthers schedule. This is a Panthers team that lost to them by like 37 in week 1. And now this is actually another reason why I think the Saints is bad. This is not good. So you know what? You won a game. You're 2-7. You're not on the trash heap, but I still think this team's not that good. Bryce Young looked a lot better, but I just think it's because the Saints are bad. So I don't think it's because they're good. So I will allow them to get the 2 for right now. And now we got to talk about another team that's doing so well this season. The Oakland Raiders lost to the Cincinnati Bengals 24-41. I guess we'll start with you, Douglas.
Oakland Raiders, Stu. What a call out.
I'm sorry, Vegas. It's so hard. I know Oakland doesn't have any more sports teams left.
Poor Oakland, man. They're all going to Vegas.
Oakland. I've always think of them as Oakland. I'm sorry.
I forgive you, Stu. I don't know if the Raider Nation will be as kind, but I'll forgive you.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Do you think? I feel like a lot of Raiders fans still would rather them be in Oakland, but I don't know.
I think honestly they should probably be in Oakland. I'm sorry, and the A's should probably be in Oakland too. But I digress. So we'll start with you, Douglas. So, like I said, I think last week we give Oakland.
Yeah, we all gave the Raiders a 2. The Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. So this is a good question right now. Are they a trash heap of a 1, or are they not, Douglas, in your call?
Well, trying to think of who I had as a 1 last week. Who was my second 1?
Let me check.
We all had the Titans as a 1, and then the Panthers as a 1.
Yeah, so I'll give them a 2 because I think the Titans lost again, right?
No, the Titans won. Yeah. Oh, you forgot? I know.
Oh, no. Now I'm panicking. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, the Titans beat the hard team to beat, the New England Patriots.
Oh, golly, man. That's a disaster. Yeah, sure. I'll change my mind. The Raiders can be a 1. They only have 2 wins, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of teams that have 2 wins. There's a
lot. This team's just been on like a bad streak.
There's like 10 teams that are like, I'm counting them right now. There's
3 teams in the AFC that have 2 wins, and in the AFC there are 6.
Yeah, there's 9 teams, 2-7 right now.
Well, a lot of the teams just won though, so I'll stay firm.
I'm trying to think because I'm thinking
lots of teams just came off of wins.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, is New England worse or is the Raiders worse? And I have to think about this. Is like a tough decision to make that I will have to think about because they lost like 20 against the Chiefs, which is granted that's a good loss. I mean, it is against the Chiefs, but that is close. You did lose 5 against the Rams. Then you lost 19 against the Steelers. And then you basically gave up 16 against the Broncos.
Don't think too hard about this, Stuart. It's only the Las Vegas Raiders.
But I got to think about it. Do I still keep them at the 2 or do I think they're 1? Because I only got one. I have to. It's like a bubonic, it's like a terrible spell. It is like a Harry Potter spell. Like oneist suckness right now. That's how I feel where I have to put it. And I feel like I'm going to have to keep them at the 2 for right now. I just feel like they're not as garbage, in my opinion, to get that 1, in my opinion. Even though they are close, if they probably lose to the Patriots, probably give them the 1. But I think for right now, they're at the 2. So, Christopher, you're up next.
This team, they deserve the 1, but I already used my 2 other 1 rankings already. But here's why I'm not going to put them as a 1. Because I can't put 3 teams at a 1. They were able to put up 24 points against the Bengals. Bengals, their defense is looking pretty good. But yeah, they put up 24 points. Yeah, Zamir White had a rushing touchdown. Let's see what else they got. Brock Bowers, rookie tight end. But also a defensive touchdown. But Las Vegas has more points scored than the Cleveland Browns, who I gave the Cleveland Browns a 1. So that's the only reason I'm going to keep the Raiders at a 2. So yeah. Short and simple, 2.
We got a 2 right over here. I can't believe it. Raiders Nation. And now I guess it's going to be my turn right now. And I got to think about this. This is interesting. Bengals, are they coming back?
Yeah. Joe Burrow tied a career high with 5 touchdowns. That was their first home win. And looks like last week, Stuart, you and Doug gave the Bengals a 3. I gave them a 4.
Yeah, and this is like I'm trying to think about. This is a good win, not a decisive win, but it is at least a good win. Granted, against a really bad Raiders team, but still, they would.
Plus, if you think about it, the Bengals are one game out of the wild card. Broncos, who have the last seed, have the wild card. They play the Chiefs next week, and the Bengals are in the 9th seed right now, so they could easily slip right in. Bengals are on the comeback trail.
And then last week, did I give him a 4 last week?
No, you and Doug gave him a 3. I gave him a 4.
I feel like I'm probably going to give him the 4 for right now. Just because I just feel like it's not really it's a Raiders team that's really not that good. I can't be impressed by that decisive a win. It's close to being decisive, but would not probably give it for right now. I'm going to bump them up a little bit right there. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like that they're in that borderline of the 5, but I just can't put them at the 5 for right now. I feel like they have to be really close to the 8, and I think they have to at least have a couple good wins against good opponents to bump me up to that 5. So now it's up to you, Christopher.
Oh, this is easy 5. Last week I had them at a 4, and a 5 is just missing the playoffs. The way they're playing, they're clicking. Let's see here. Yeah, like Jamar Chase wasn't even their leading wide receiver, and they still have Jamar Chase. So yeah, Joe Burrow, he's clicking. He's throwing to the people that he needs to throw to. They scored 41 points at home. Amazing. It's gonna be a tough game Thursday night in Baltimore against the Ravens, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, the Bengals are looking good. 4 and 5. Yeah, they won't make the playoffs at the current moment, but they would just miss it. So that's exactly what a 5 is.
Ready?
I'm gonna leave them at a 4, or I'm gonna bump them to a 4, I guess. I don't know. Like I don't know what it is, but just something about this team. I'm not sold. Maybe I'm off base, but there's something about them. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think I don't know. If they beat the Ravens, they'll look a lot better to me.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes from right here. And now we got the Commanders.
Now we'll go with the Giants because they lost the Commanders.
Yes, we got to talk about the Commanders beating up the Giants, and we're going to start with the Giants. All right, I guess we'll start with you, Christopher. What is your thoughts on the New York Giants, who are now 2-7, the worst team in the NFC right now? They barely beat the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, Giants have lost 4 in a row.
Yes.
They have, let's see real quick, scanning it. They have the worst, besides the Miami Dolphins, they have the worst offense in the, actually, let's see. Yeah, they have the worst offense in the league. Points scored. They lost 4 in a row, man. They started 2-3, now they're 2-7. Daniel Jones still had a good day. 2 touchdowns, but still under 200 yards passing.
They did try to go for 2s twice, and they failed.
What's that?
They did try to go for 2 and failed both times.
But here's the thing: you're going up against a Commanders team who was 6-2 coming into the day. Potentially more than likely rookie of the year in Jane Daniels. Sure, it was a home game. You're losing in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We all gave him a 2 last week. I'll keep him at a 2 because I don't have any more 1s to give away. So I'll keep him at a 2.
All right, Douglas, now it's your turn. What is your thoughts about the New York Giants, the disappointing team of America?
Like my rant last week, just keep them out of prime time. Golly. They're awful. Throw them down for a 2 for me as well.
Ooh, we got the 2 triple 2s right now.
Nonetheless, we have the toilet bowl next week in Germany. Giants and Panthers, baby. Everyone tune in.
Oh yeah, that's another prime timer, isn't it?
No, it's 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So prime time Germany time, I'm not sure, but definitely not prime time American time.
9:30 in the morning. Let's go.
Yeah, all the people are gonna be sleeping in. 6:30 Las Vegas time or West Coast time.
Let's watch. Oh, I can't wait to watch, make some notes, analyze this, figure out is both of these teams going to make the put. No,
Steve's going to get the 1 next week.
Who's going to get the 1 next week?
Pretty much.
So I feel like for the Giants, I mean, they have a lot of losses, but it's like, are they ugly losses? Are they like deserving of that 1? I think last week you gave them the 2. I mean, I'm still kind of surprised they have not benched Daniel Jones right now. At this point, I think Daniel Jones is probably going to be the end of his career as a Giant right now. He will probably be back up somewhere else. But
is he close to the end of his contract, or did they pay him like a bunch of other teams pay their quarterbacks?
I think they paid him last year, which was a mistake because they won a playoff game. And I honestly think I'm looking at that now. I think it's more in spite of Daniel Jones, and it's more how bad the Vikings were. So I think I'm probably going to keep them at the 2 for right now. I think for right now, they're going to get only triple 2s. I don't think they're that colossal, awful 1, in my opinion, that I should probably keep them right there. So that's why for right now, we're keeping the New York Giants at a 2. And now we got another 2 games. Oh, really?
How about we not skip the Commanders, Stuart?
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank God.
I know your favorite team's in the NFC East, but we can't skip the other 3 teams that are in that same division.
I know. We skip the Commanders. Now it's going to be interesting. So I guess we're going to start with Christopher.
So last week, Stuart, you and I gave the Commanders a 7. Doug gave them an 8. That should have been an easy game to win, which it was clearly. Well, not clearly. They won by 5, but yeah. Terry McLaurin looking like Scary Terry. Austin Eckler put 1 in. What did Jane Daniels do real quick? Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 209 passing yards. They're right now second in the conference. They'd be playing the Packers week 1. Oh, man. Besides the Lions, the next top 2 teams, Commanders and Eagles in the NFC. And the way the Eagles have been playing, I don't know if the Commanders can overcome them. So, oh, man. I'm going to keep the Commanders at a 7.
I'm going to keep them the 7. And now it's your turn, Douglas. How do you feel about the Commanders? You gave them an 8 last week.
Yeah, I mean, the only hesitation I have is if the Eagles are better than them. Like, the Eagles are coming on strong, Stu. The Eagles are coming on real strong.
Well, let's get this started. I mean, we'll discuss it when we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. So,
yeah, for sure. But that's my hesitation on this team right now is I think that this team is real solid. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I'll keep them at an 8. They won. Can't bump them down. They're figuring out a lot of things. I think they made a really nice trade today as well.
Yeah, they're getting a couple good picks. And I feel like for me, the Commanders are definitely improving up. But also, they did beat the Giants by 5. They didn't have a great game. You know what I mean? In my opinion, they had a good game. They did have a good win, but it's not really great. And you know what I mean? And I mean, granted, they would play against the Packers. Packers looked really bad against the Lions. But like I said, I digress. We're going to talk about Green Bay when we get to Green Bay. But I do think they can beat the Packers. I still probably going to keep them at the 7. I don't know if I feel any confidence on if this Commanders team is going to make it to the NFC Championship right now, in my opinion. So I feel like for right now, Washington Commanders get the 777s.
Yeah, that Commander stock could increase or decrease next week. It's a home game, but it's against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll cross that bridge when we have to come to it.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. And now, why? Why? Why do we have to talk about it?
Because we have to talk about it, Stu. We have to talk about it.
Dude, we should save time. Stu, we can save time if you just pre-record meltdowns. And then we can just put them in. Because it's going to become a weekly occurrence for you.
Yes, I honestly feel like, we should just it's insert here. It's like, I can't believe the Cowboys lost to this team right now. This is like such frustrating when Jerry Jones said he was going to go all in, even though they lost to this team. Because this is like, okay, we lost 27 to, we lost to them 21-27. Dak is now out for a month at minimum, which is not good.
CeeDee Lamb got a little injured.
But I think CeeDee Lamb might be back.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
But nonetheless, it's either going to be Trey Lance or Cooper Rush.
I think it's going to be Cooper Rush as the backup right now. Cooper Rush.
I think it's going to be Trey Lance, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I hope it's Trey Lance. That'd be kind of fun to see.
Yeah, I think based on what my buddy was telling me last night, it's going to be Trey Lance starting quarterback.
Oh, that would be interesting. But I digress. We're 3-5. Now, this is a good question. Last week, we all gave the Cowboys a 3, right? As of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sure. Isn't a 2? What is the definition of a 2?
I feel like a 2 is like you're at a 5% odds of making the postseason. Now, that's a good question. And this is the thing I have to think about. Because, one, also, I should talk about also.
Then what's a 3? What's a 3 then?
You're only beating up on bad teams.
Oh, okay. All right.
But also, what do you think is worse, gentlemen? Aaron Rodgers, like, if you're a quarterback, yells at reporters, gets upset with reporters after the team's stinking. Or B, where Jerry Jones internet gaslights us and talks about, my Cowboys, I'm going to try to do my Jerry, 30 years ago, Michael Irvin hurt himself. And, we came back and won multiple Super Bowls. I'm like, this is a different team than the 90s, Jerry.
Yes, sir. Listen to Jerry Jones. This is a different team.
No, he's like, I feel confident in these Cowboys, and these Cowboys are going to do what? Have you seen the play? And I know that there's a TikTok where it says Dak, where he said we effing suck. I know. It's just like, but I shall digress. They are 3-5. Do they deserve are they in that 2 spot? But we did lose Dak but Dak hasn't been good for the last month. But on the other hand, we did lose Dak for another month. We are ranked 13th in the division. There's a lot of 2s. Are they the same caliber as the Jets? Or are they in the 5% odds of making the postseason? That's a tough one. 3-2, 3-2. Gotta think about it. I think because there are a lot more crappier teams that have a worse record, I'm gonna give them the 3. But hear me out. They lose more games, and then they're in that 2 columns. Then you know what? I'll bump them down to the 2. All right, Christopher.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going off of. Next week they play the Eagles. That game is it's in Dallas, but you're gonna have a backup quarterback in Cooper Rush or Trey Lance, Jerry Jones, or he's running the team, whoever he wants to start as quarterback.
Yes.
The Falcons are 6-2. They were 5-3, one of the better teams in the NFC. It was an away game for the Cowboys. It was in Atlanta. Yeah, they scored 3 touchdowns. What quarter did Dak Prescott leave the game in?
I believe it was in the 4th quarter.
4th? Okay. Gotcha. It was still impressive. They put up 21 points.
I mean, they were losing by 2 scores a lot of the game, though.
Yeah, you're right. 7-3, 14-10, 21-13. And then it was fourth quarter, 27-13. Garbage time touchdown from Jalen Tolbert, or to Jalen Tolbert from Cooper Rush. Fourth quarter got out of hand, but that's probably when CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott got injured. So I'll go on the lines of what Stuart was saying. It could get a lot worse with Dak Prescott being out for the next month. I'll keep him at a 3 because they put up 21 points. Yeah, garbage time touchdown. But I anticipate the 3 going down to a 2. I don't really see the Cowboys being a 1, but you never know. But I anticipate them losing next week to the Eagles, and then that's when the Cowboys become a 2.
All right. Douglas. Show my case right here. What's your thoughts of this Dallas Cowboys team?
For sure, 2.
Why? Okay.
Sometimes it's not about how you're losing; it's just the fact that they just keep doing it.
They've lost 4 in a row.
They're not just losing; they're like getting dominated too. That's like, granted, they only lost by 6, but they were down by 13, 14 late in the half. I just don't see it.
I mean, the last 4 losses. I mean, they did beat the Steelers, and then we did.
Yeah, that's still like a very, very faint memory still.
Yeah, but
I mean, they got destroyed by the New Orleans Saints, who are now sitting.
It's like saying, "Oh man, they beat the Browns week 1. Don't forget about that, guys."
Exactly. So they beat the Browns. Like, wow, you got destroyed by the Saints. It didn't even look like you were in the same league as the Lions this year.
Yeah, right.
I'm just struggling to see anything positive. Micah Parsons is still out. Dak's out for a month. CD got hurt. I'm not seeing where things get better, and at current market value, I don't see them beating anybody.
So, Doug, you think like if they keep losing, we're gonna have to put the Cowboys down to a 1? That's where I'm worried. Like, we can't go much lower. That's why I'm keeping them at a 3 because they lost by 6. Yeah, garbage time touchdown. But next week I'll probably put them at a 2. But man,
I mean, I'm okay with them just staying at a 2 for a long time. I mean,
gotcha. We're gonna have to demote the Cowboys to the NFL.
If I watch them play a game, like, they're not competitive really. So like, it's not an enjoyable experience even watch them play a game.
And don't they play on Thanksgiving as always? Man, no one's gonna watch that game. Why would they? It's gonna be terrible.
Exactly, it'd be terrible.
They play the Commanders because don't they usually always play the Commanders on Thanksgiving? So at least we watch one team play football that day or that game.
Yeah.
So look at that. I can't believe it. The Cowboys are out.
Don't cry too much, dude. You still gotta go sleep.
We were supposed to win multiple.
All right, so last week, Doug and I gave the Falcons a 6, and Stuart, you gave them a 7 last week.
Yes. Now, like I said, the Falcons, as of right now, would make the postseason. They would play against the Eagles.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts, gentlemen? I guess.
Oh, you want? All right.
Let's start with you, Christopher.
Easy. We're gonna keep them at a 6. Whoa. Because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm glad we're taking into consideration the current playoff picture. And man, these Eagles are looking hot. Granted, it would be a home game for the Falcons in Atlanta, but man, these Eagles, they are looking spicy. They're looking fantastic. So yeah, I'll keep my Kirk Cousins, what a baller game, 3 touchdowns. But do they have what it takes to beat the Eagles? Current market value? No. So they're going to make the playoffs where they stand, but not beat the Eagles. So 6 for the Falcons.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Now it's time for your turn.
Yeah, I agree with Chris's logic. Like, I don't think they can beat like the better teams in the NFC. Like, I don't see much from that. I don't feel inspired by this team.
So you're going to give him a 6 or 7?
Did I give him a 6 last week?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to stay at my 6.
You were sitting at the 6. All right.
Yeah, Stuart gave him a 7 last week, so it's going to be interesting.
All right. I feel like they can still beat Philly. They beat Philly last time by 1 point.
No, that was the game where like Saquon had the really weird play. Like they shouldn't have lost.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm gonna probably keep him at the 7 for right now. I'm sorry. I feel like
You can't stoop down to a 6.
I'm not gonna lower it down. I'm not lowering it down.
You can't.
I can't do it. I feel like Philly still has some issues, and that's why.
What?
But I mean, they're getting close in games, so they're good. But they've also been having these problems where they're getting close in games. But I will still probably give the Falcons for right now a 7 because I still think they can probably beat the Eagles, but I don't know if they can go farther than that right now. So we'll see. If
The Falcons need to get Bijan Robinson going.
Yes.
It's in order for them to possibly beat the Eagles if the playoffs started today, because right now he's not really doing much of anything, but I'll keep it at that.
Yes. And now I got to talk about my NFC Super Bowl championship right now. The Patriots versus the Titans, where they went to overtime. And the Patriots lost 17-20 right now. Now we'll start with you, Douglas. What is your thoughts on the New England Patriots still being so mid? And so mid, I mean, absolutely garbage. Going back, they love retro, apparently.
Well, I'll keep it simple, Stu. They trash, but I'll give them a 2. I think I already gave out 2 1s. So
yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I did not give out 2 1s, correct? I believe yes. So, and I honestly got to think about this. Is the Jaguars worst or the Cleveland worse? You know what? You lost to the Titans, who are now worse.
That's right. If you lose to a 1, you become a 1.
And I think we have to keep the tradition going. If you lose to the 1, like Sauron in Lord of the Rings, you have to take L beneath your ring of the 1. And I think for right now, I have found my 1. And that is the New England Patriots right now. Because this team is garbage. Their season is done. And I want to my prediction will still be correct. And they will get that first eulogy right now for the New England Patriots.
I already gave out both my 1s. I'm going to keep the Patriots at a 2. They actually could have won that game. It was 17-17 in overtime. So yeah, when you go to overtime, that means you contest hard. I'm not sure if they contested hard in this game, but keep them at a 2. Didn't really pay much attention to this game.
Oh, I thought you didn't put any notes in this important game.
No, I will be putting that notes for the Giants-Panthers game next week in Germany, though.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, look at this. I mean, we had great players. Drake May had 2 interceptions versus Mason Rudolph has 1 interception. So it's like, who wants to give up the ball? Like, no, I want to lose this game. No, I want to lose this game. So basically, that is what this game has been all about. And I guess I'll go first with oh my God. So the Titans won a game. They're 2-6.
We all had the Titans at a 1 last week.
You know what? I give it away. You give it away to the Patriots to have them at 1. So I will rise the Titans to realize that they are still mediocre and garbage. This is a 2. This team's not going to change anything. This team is going to have a eulogy pretty soon. I'm just saying. And now it's your turn, Christopher.
Yeah, like I said, I already gave my 2 1s away. So I'll give the Titans 1. I'll increase them to a 2.
Oh, look at
but
that.
We'll see next week.
Yes.
Because, they play the Bears in Chicago. Might be a different story.
Oh, I don't know. They might beat the Bears.
The Bears.
All
right, Doug, how you feeling? Tennessee Titans?
Oh, man. They won a game. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I agree once again, gentlemen. I like the 2.
We got the 2. Do you have any thoughts on this important game?
When you win in overtime, that means you wanted it more than the other team.
Yeah, I mean, this, like Chris said, this is a game I didn't really watch all that much of a game.
Pretty sure most of America wasn't paying attention to that.
It wasn't good.
Are you telling me in this week this was not the most important thing of this week is watching this Tennessee Titans Patriots game?
A lot more important games to be paying attention to, for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't on my priority list too.
Oh my goodness. I was watching the whole game. And the whole game, I mean, I was watching Red Zone.
I was going to ask you what you thought, but I don't think you're being serious. I don't think you watched this game, Stu.
No, I did not. This game was bad. And now teams that we did not see on Red Zone on the 4 o'clock games. The Bears lost 29-29 against the Arizona Cardinals. The Bears stock is like going all the way to the ground right now. And so the Bears would not make the postseason as of right now. Yes. Christopher, you get to go first right now. What is your
So I gave the Bears a 6 last week. Both Stu and Doug gave them a 5 last week. Right now, the Bears would actually just be missing the playoffs. They'd be the 8th seed. So that makes it nice and easy for me to give them a 5 instead of a 6 because a 5 is just missing the playoffs.
Well, look at that. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, Douglas, what is your thoughts about the Chicago Bears blowing this game badly? And
it feels like we're starting to see that team that we kind of figured they would be, if that makes sense. Like
the team
what?
Not tanks, but the bust.
Exactly. Not a bust yet. Can we stop? I'm sorry, Christopher. Caleb Williams is not a bust. We're at week 9, and you're.
I'm sorry, Doug. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, Doug.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to disagree.
I had my time to talk.
Well, no, I don't. I'll say I don't think he's a bust yet, but I think he's also in that dangerous territory of like we got to do something. Like I feel like every week it's like the defense is carrying them pretty well, and then finally the defense didn't hold up and they got destroyed, and so it wasn't a very promising feeling. So I'll put him at a 5 as well.
Wow, we got another 5.
Ooh, keeping them at a 5. All right.
It's so interesting because it's like for one point they did lose decisively to the Cardinals 29-29. That's one bad thing. That's not good. But on the other hand, they're still the 8th seed. They still have a shot of like still coming back and maybe sneaking into the postseason right now. And I still think that the NFC North is still looking legit. And I still feel like there's a lot more crummier teams. They're in the bottom feeders for right now. So I feel like for right now, the Chicago Bears, even though the Bears did not look as great, the disappointment, I don't think it can lower them down to 4, in my opinion, just because they are in the 8th seed. So I'm going to continue them at the 5. It's weird to let a team that lost 20 points still keep the same record. It's still time. It feels weird about it, but I think Chicago's still doing okay. And now we got to talk about the Cardinals. And I guess it's going to be interesting, Douglas, because we'll start with you as someone that used to live in Scottsdale.
Yeah, I did.
What is your thoughts about Chicago? These are Cardinals who are now in the driver's seat. They would make the 4th seed. They would play against the Vikings. Could they beat the Vikings? Or
I mean, yeah. Did they play the Vikings yet this year?
I do believe. Actually, I'll do a double check. They did not play against the Vikings.
Because I don't know.
Play against them 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be a pretty good game. But I still would take the Vikings, so I'll give them a solid 6. But it's really fun, man. They're in first in their division, I do believe.
Yes, I feel like for me, the Cardinals, as of right now, they're still in this. They are. I feel like probably the Vikings still beat them. It is crazy to think that this. Who would have thought that the NFC West, the Cardinals, would be at the lead in this division? And everybody else is in this garbage of pile of trying to like figure out how to like get out of this mess.
Well, Steve didn't get injured. I think it'd be a different story, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and I do agree. If Chris McCaffrey, if the 49ers were 100% in their roster, I do feel like that this team would be a lot more like they'd be in a much more stronger position to probably clinch the NFC West. But I digress. Cardinals, can they beat the Vikings? No. So, for that reason, they're only getting the 6 for right now.
Easy for me. We all gave them a 5 last week, do you believe? Let's see here. Yeah, we all gave them a 5. Like you guys said, they're in first place in their division. They're not going to beat the Vikings, but they're still making the playoffs. Easy 6 for the Cardinals, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also they do have a winning record, so I can't bump them down. You know what I mean? They're all above 500. I feel like if they were not above 500, or if this was a team that's not that was below it, that would not make the postseason, I would probably lower them down right there. And now we got to talk about the Jaguars losing to the Philadelphia Eagles. But it's interesting because, like I said, at one point it was looking bad. It was 22-0, 23-0. And then somehow the Jaguars came back little by little. It was actually 20. Yes, it was 20.
And we all gave the Jaguars a 2 last week.
Yes. So what do I think about the Jaguars? We're going to start with myself. Are the Jaguars garbage? Are they in the colossal trash? I still feel like for right now, they did claw themselves back up here. I feel like the Jaguars are that weird fluky team that somehow, even though they're bad, they have a bad record, they still somehow find their way to win games. Or find a way to still barely lose teams. They barely lost to the Packers by 3. They barely lost to the Eagles by 5. They did lose decisively to the Bears by 19, and they did beat the Patriots. But they did beat the Colts. But then they lose barely to the Texans, and then they get blown out by the Bills. I feel like this is probably more the 2. I think because, in my opinion, this is not a team that's getting blown out really badly. So we'll see how it goes. And now I'll start with you, Christopher. What is your thoughts about the Jaguars from Jacksonville?
Yeah, keep them at a 2. That was impressive. They scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, and then after each of those touchdowns, they went for a 2-point conversion. Each of those conversions were successful. But yeah, I mean, a loss is a loss. Impressive feats. 2 straight 2-point conversions, but yeah, I'm not sure what they were doing offensively because Trevor Lawrence had 2 rushing touchdowns. The other touchdown was at the hands of Trayvon Walker, which is on the defensive side. So offensively, they needed to get Travis Etienne going. I'm sure don't they have Calvin Ridley on their team? I think no, he plays for the Titans.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk, he's out. Yeah, so offensively, they need to get Etienne going.
All right, now it's time for you, Douglas. What is your thoughts?
Man, you guys are doing a nice job today. This team feels like a 2. You just keep kind of waiting for something to happen with Trevor Lawrence, and it's just, I don't know, just not. So, I don't know. It's hard to really do much with this team. They're still a team that could maybe win a game here or there that they shouldn't, but I don't know. Not a lot of thoughts about this team.
Plus, they're at home next weekend against the Vikings. So, we'll see if they stay at a 2 or go to a 1. Time will tell.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one for sure.
So we got triple 2s right now in this game. Now we got to talk about the Eagles. I'll start with you, Douglas. What are your thoughts about the Philadelphia Eagles right now?
Oh man, I touched on this one a little bit earlier. I'm digging what they're doing right now. Something about it, they're starting to click, and I don't know. They're what are they 7-2, something like that, 6-2.
They are 7-2. They would make the wild card as of right now.
No, they're 6-2. They're the 6th seed.
And they would play.
Yeah.
Doug, you gave him a 6 last week. I gave him a 7.
Yeah, I feel 70. This team, every week they just start to look a little bit better. Saquon looks amazing. Their defense is playing good. They're definitely not a team that I'd want to see in the playoffs.
Yeah, I feel like that this team, has gone a little bit better. I think the frustrations I felt like in the first 3 weeks have, where I was getting annoyed when they were barely beating teams and then they were choking on really bad games and then they lost. I mean, they're still having that same problem. That is my frustration. This week against the Jaguars, they gave up 20. They had a 22-point lead against this team, against the Jaguars, and they almost lost this game but they still kept it through. They had a bad quarter. Do I think they're going to beat the Falcons? I still don't think they're going to still beat the Falcons. So I want to bump them up to the 6. I feel like they're still at 6. I'm keeping them right there for right now. We will see how it goes. And now for you, Fyodor, what is your thoughts about the Eagles?
So hot take. I think this is the median is going to be Doug's 7 because I'm putting the Eagles at an 8 at the moment.
What?
Yeah, because I put the let's see, what was the other team?
Dude, that what was from your soul, man.
That was from my soul. That's how I feel. It's like, what?
The Eagles are starting to click, and the Vikings are looking good. But it's obviously we're the Lions are top in the NFC. But it's like who would the Lions be matching up against in the NFC Championship game? Right now it's either the Commanders, the Vikings, or the Eagles. I put the Commanders at a 7, not an 8, and the Eagles right now, man, they're clicking. So yeah, an 8 for me.
No, I respect it, man. They're looking good.
Yeah. And next week the Eagles play. That's right. The Eagles play in Dallas. So if they lose, yeah, obviously the 8 will go down. But if they win, the 8 will stay there. So we'll see.
All right, we'll see how it goes. And now we got to talk about the Lions defeating up the Green Bay Packers. Really bad. And I know that granted the game looks like it's close, but let's be honest. The Packers scored a touchdown in garbage time. Well, let's be honest. It wasn't like this game was close at all. So we will start with myself and talk about the Green Bay Packers right now. They lost this game. I believe sorry.
They lost by 10, but
10,
you said
20,
garbage time.
Yeah.
3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, 24-15. Let me think. What do I give the Packers right now? Like I said, they would make the postseason. They are in the wild card.
We all gave the Packers a 7 last week.
But I think I'm going to bump them down to the 6. I do feel like this Packers team, I don't think they can probably beat the Washington Commanders right now. They did have a bad game. It was not good. It was rainy. Looks not good. And like I said, the Lions controlled this game like pretty well, except for that one. Except for that one time that they tried to injure. Except for that one time when the Lions player tried to injure a Packers player. Just saying.
Dude, I'm looking at the win percentage, and it's
crazy.
What
are you talking about that hit on Brian Bland, too?
Yeah.
What are you talking about injuring?
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about the hit by Brian Bland. Yeah.
What do you mean he was trying to hurt him? Like, that was such a bad call. Like, even Tom Brady sitting there shocked. Like, what do you mean he's trying to hurt him? That's a football play. He hit him with his head, but, like, man, oh, man, that's not trying to hurt somebody. Like, no. It's just putting a bad name to what that was.
All right. We'll start with you, Christopher. What is your thoughts about the Packers?
We'll continue with me. Yeah, the Packers had a small smidge win percentage in looks like the first quarter when they were up 3-0. Oh man, yeah. We've said this week in and week out. Lions are the most complete team in the NFL. Yeah, you got the Chiefs on the AFC side, but I feel like the Lions are more complete than the Chiefs. I think we all could agree on that, but I don't want to ruin your guys' opinions. Last week, we're talking about the Packers. My apologies. I'm so stoked on the Lions. Packers. They should have won. They should have lost this game 24-6. Stuart, like you said, garbage time touchdown to Emmanuel Wilson. Okay. Wait, was it a flea flicker? Jordan Love to Christian Watson, and then to Emmanuel Wilson. It doesn't matter. Last week we gave all the Packers a 7. Yeah, they're not going to beat the Commanders. So easy 6.
Easy 6. All right, Douglas. What do you got to talk about the one team that has traumatized you for decades, and now you get to beat them up?
Well, it's 3 straight at Lambeau for the record, though. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's not get twisted.
Yes.
No, I mean, they're still a solid team, but if I was a Packers fan, I'm a little bit concerned with Jordan Love right now, man. He's throwing a lot of interceptions. that pick six at the end of the half, man, that could have been the difference in the game. I mean, granted, the Lions were dominating, but it looked like it might be a game. And then that pick six to end the half was real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been 10-3 at half, and then 27-yard interception return.
Yeah, like that was a bad. Like I don't know. There's some concerns there. He's leading the league in interceptions this year. I mean, you kind of think that a game in this type of weather, you would think that it would kind of favor the home team, but like they just didn't look comfortable out there. Like I don't know. I was a little bit surprised, in all honesty. But they're still a good team. Like they're still a team that's gonna be around kind of all year. But I agree. I think a 6 is good.
Triple sixes right now. I can't believe it. We got the triple sixes right now in this one. And now we got to talk about the Lions, who dominated this game pretty much for the most part. They did get a touchdown in garbage time, but like I said, I'm not counting that one. So we're going to start with you, Douglas. What is your thoughts about the Detroit Lions?
Oh, Stu, easiest one all day. Give them the 9.
And give them the 9. Why would you want to give them the 9, Douglas?
Well, Stu, I mean, like Chris said, they're the most complete team in football. They're unbelievably creative, like on offense right now. Like pretty much they can just control the amount of ways they can win a game. It's pretty unbelievable, in all honesty. Like I haven't seen a team like, because like if you watch the Chiefs, they're sitting there like slugfest. Like they have their winning formula and they're wonderful. Like the Lions are on the top defensively, number 1 special teams unit in the league, like top scoring offense. Like they're just clicking on all cylinders, and it's pretty fun to watch. Like, I mean, they went up against an elite defense in the Vikings, kind of did whatever they wanted to in that game. Like, I don't know. I mean, the teams that they beat are pretty solid too. Like, it's not like they've won a bunch of like, they won in Dallas, which is never easy to do. They beat the Packers. They beat the Vikings on the road. Like, they have a pretty good hold on the NFC North right now. I could go on all day, Stu. They just got a new edge rusher, and they already have a good defense. Like, there's a lot to like.
Yeah, honestly, this team definitely looks legit right now. They look super good right now, and I'm probably going to give, in my opinion, the Lions still the 9. I think this is the strongest team right now in the NFC. Lions, the Super Bowl. It still feels weird for me to say it, but I think this team looks really legit right now. They have no issues right now.
Man. Jared Goff chants all over the country still.
Boo. But anyway, also, I will say it is very impressive you were dominant against a Packers team at Lambeau Field. I know this is the 3rd time. It says a lot for this Detroit team. This Detroit team has come a long way from the mediocrity of the 2000s.
Yes, sir. Well said.
Christopher, what are you thinking?
Easy. We all had them at a 9 last week. Continue them at a 9.
Because 9s, right?
This is America's team. This is what you want.
Okay.
Well said, Chris.
Sir, this is the most complete team. Top 5 scoring teams in their top 5 in the entire league. They just got Brown's defensive ends, Darius Smith. I'm on St. Brown, great wide receiver, had a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs had a touchdown. Plus, they also have David Montgomery in the backfield. The addition to the defense, Zadarius Smith, is going to help them immensely. It's going to be an interesting game, though, in Houston on Sunday. Detroit in Houston. We'll see how that game goes, but obviously our favoritism probably lands it more towards the Lions going forward in that game. So easy peasy Lions in the NFC Championship game.
All right.
It's hard to root against them. Come on.
I'll root for the Lions. I'm sorry.
Motor City, baby, America's team.
I will root. Okay, I don't like. Okay.
America was built in Detroit with their cars, and now America's being built with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Stu.
I don't know.
Whatever happened in Dallas?
Let's talk about it. Anyway, we got to start with the LA Rams right now, who lost in overtime. And actually, they did win in overtime against the Seattle Seahawks and two mid-teams right now. So we'll start with myself right now. The Seattle Seahawks are now 4-5 right now. They did lose to overtime against the LA Rams. Where would I put the Seahawks? The Seahawks. You did come close, but no cigars. You are still in that weird spot of getting mid. You've lost 3 in a row. Actually, lost 2
They lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, you did beat the Falcons, but you are losing 2 in a row. Where would I put
Plus, they're in that weird division of the NFC West that are all
they
are above or below, right below 500.
Yeah, they do have a shot, but I'm probably going to give them the 4 for right now. I feel like the Seahawks are in that weird mid. Maybe they might make it the postseason. Maybe they might. They're in that weird. I feel like this is like the same Seahawks it was last year, where this team was just so mid and not improving, but not really looking bad. And I just feel like they're just kind of in this weird middle. So for right now, I'm giving the Seattle Seahawks the 4.
So yeah, last week, Stuart, you and Doug gave them 4. I gave them the 5, which is just missing the playoffs. But now they're in last place in the NFC West. They've lost 2 in a row. They were in the division lead 2 weeks ago, if not 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, we were discussing about the Seahawks. What would they do in the postseason? And now
CMC, he was practicing yesterday, so it looks like he's set to return. So yeah, like I said, I have him at a 5, just missing the playoffs. And the way they're playing, DK Metcalf, he's injured. I know he didn't play this past week. I'm not sure like how the foreseeable future is for his injury, if he's going to miss another week. I know Tyler Lockett had a good game. Jackson Smith-Njigba had a great game. But where's Kenneth Walker been? Has he still been injured? Do you guys know? Or what's he doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. We don't know. Like, Kenneth Walker was a top 10 running back coming into the season. I'm not sure if he has that spark or –
But I thought he played. I thought he had a nice game, but maybe he is hurt.
Let's see here. Yeah, Kenneth Walker, 25 carries. That's 25 carries. That's impressive. 83 yards, no touchdowns. Right now they're the 12th seed in the NFC. I'm going to go from a 5 down to I'll put him at a 4.
Look at that. We got 4. Are we going to get a 4, Douglas?
Yeah, you are still. This team's a little bit rough. I mean, say disappointment might be a little bit harsh, but it's also kind of feels accurate. Like, they started off good. You thought that maybe they would do something, and then they're just kind of losing steam. I mean, this one felt bigger than just an overtime loss, too. Because, like you said, they're now last in the division. They had a chance to kind of run with the division just a few weeks ago. And now all of a sudden you're just kind of sitting there and you're like, man, oh man, what happened?
Luckily they have a bye week this week, so maybe they can regroup, and I'm not sure who they play the next week. It might be the 49ers with CMC back, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. And now we got to talk about we got to talk about the Rammies, because they are ramming to another win. So the Rams won in overtime. That was a great game. Honestly, this is probably the game of the week. My favorite game of this one, even though it's both 2 mid teams. But we'll start with you, Christopher. What's your thoughts about the LA Rams, who are now 4-4, still would not make the postseason, but they're hanging in there?
Let's see. Rams last week, Stu gave them a 4. Doug and I both gave them a 5. Right now, they're in the 10th seed. But the Rams, they've won 3 in a row. So pretty much, if CMC is going to come back, well, I mean, I may have my own opinion that the 49ers might run away with the division title. I know they have some injuries with Brandon Ayuk out for the season, but they still have George Kittle.
I don't know.
Is Kittle out?
No, he's there. I feel like the 49ers' problems might be deeper than CMC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ayuk's out. Deebo Samuel, he's back though, so they could flush the ball to him and CMC all day. But yeah, Rams have won 3 straight. Man, this division's so tough. Right now, they're not making the playoffs. And like I said last week, it's hard to. Yeah, I keep them at a 5. They're not making the playoffs. I feel like they're a team that would just miss the playoffs just based on the division that they're in.
Oh, so we got 5. So now it's your turn, Douglas. What is your thoughts about the LA Rams ramming it to another postseason?
I'd say a solid 5 as well.
Triple 5s.
Yeah, they're a nice team. Like I think they're a team that if they get healthy, they can push the 49ers as well. You get Cooper Kupp and you get that whole squad back. You never know.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, Puka Nacua, he's back. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there's some reason for optimism, man. That offense can do something.
Yeah, this is like a weird optimism. And I'm looking at their games. They do have a lot of winnable games. Their next 2 are going to be the Dolphins and the Patriots.
Monday night against the Dolphins, you're right, Stu.
Yeah, Monday night against the Dolphins. What a great game that we're all us Americans are going to watch. Dolphins versus Rams. But
I'm excited about that game, low key. Like
I'll be watching that game for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, but yeah, you're not going to watch the Giants versus the Panthers games.
I mean, those are on separate days at way separate times.
All right, but I definitely do feel like
watching both those games.
That's the problem, though. Like if the Giants are the only football game on, of course I'm going to watch it. I'm just not going to be super thrilled about it.
Okay,
Doug, are you going to be in Texas on Sunday?
I will for the week that the Cowboys play Houston on Monday night.
Gotcha.
That's the weekend. So I'll be in Dallas that week.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the week before Thanksgiving, so I might be there just a week before our buddy Stusif.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I'm excited, Stu.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Should you do hook 'em horns?
Oh yeah.
Hook 'em horns, baby. Hook 'em horns. Let's go.
I'm all in. I'm gonna get my cowboy boots.
Hook 'em horns. The Texas Longhorns, they were not even because the college playoff bracket came out today.
Yeah.
They're not in the top 12, right?
Yeah, we're seeing how it goes.
Oh yeah, Texas should be in the top 12. They should be like 3rd or 4th.
Were they? Yeah, well, that's a different discussion for later.
That's a different podcast.
Focus on the NFL here.
We got the NFL. we'll
like rule teams like the Cowboys.
Yeah, we're going to focus on the Rammies, and I think the Rammies are going to get a good 5, in my opinion. They're still in that. They could make the postseason. They could definitely make the postseason. They're in that weird spot of getting in there and not. But we'll see how it goes. But I don't know. I feel like the Rams, they're definitely feeling like a 5 for right now. We'll see how it goes after this one. And now we got to talk about another good game. Actually, it was a really good Sunday night game, which was the Colts versus the Vikings. But then the Colts could not win this game, unfortunately. The Colt revolver had some empty chambers and unfortunately lost this game 13-21. So we'll start with you, Douglas. What is your thoughts about the Indianapolis Colts?
I mean, with all due respect to Joe Flacco, because he's amazing, but I don't know. I felt I don't know. I didn't like him being in there over Richardson. Maybe I'm just being biased because they lost, but they played well, though. It's hard to hate too much on it. I mean, they played a nice game. It was kind of a more fun game than we would have expected. But at the end of the day, they lost. What did we give them last week? Like a 4?
We all gave them a 5.
Okay, well, this week I'm giving them a 4.
Ooh, wow. Okay. All righty. I feel like for me, and I'm next right here. Last week I gave them a 5. They're still in the bubble of the 8th seed. And they still have the Denver Broncos that I feel that are faltering right now. And Baltimore that's kind of in this weird, okay, they're looking good, but then they have these weird randomly losing games against the Browns. But I feel like the Colts still have that weird, they could sneak into that postseason. They have a shot. Right now, the Texans they look like they're beatable. But on the other hand, they did lose a game against the Vikings, but they are the 8th seed. And I feel like they're in the football hell right now. So I feel like I'm going to disagree with you, Douglas. I'm keeping them at the 5 for right now, in my opinion.
And I'm gonna keep the Colts right at a 5 as well. Reason being, you have the Texans, who are the division leader in the AFC South, again going against the Lions. It's a home game for the Texans, but that's going to be a tough matchup. So the Texans could or should lose that game. But then you have the Colts, who have a tough game going against the Bills, but that game is in Indianapolis, so it's a home game. Are they going to stick with Joe Flacco? Are they going to go back to AR? We'll see. Yeah, that was a tough game for Flacco. I'm not sure how many games he's had in a row where he's throwing a touchdown, but he did not have a single touchdown accountable for him that game. I mean, yeah, the Vikings are a tough team, so benefit of the doubt. But yeah, because right now they're the 8th seed, so current market value, they would just be missing the playoffs.
All right. And now we're down. We got done with the Colts. Now we got to talk about the Vikings. So I will go first with the Minnesota Vikings, who are kind of bouncing back after that loss that they had last week against the Lions. And now they are in the 5th seed. Now that's a good question. Do I put the Vikings up to the 6? Can they beat the Cardinals, or do I feel no?
Well, we all had the Vikings at a 7 last week.
Yeah, that's true.
And they won this week, so you can't really put them up to a 6. That'd be decreasing.
Yeah, that is true. I don't feel like
you don't put them up to a 6 from a 7.
I'm gonna give them the chew. No, I'm sorry. No. I'm probably gonna keep them at the 7. I don't think they're up in the 8. I think they can still probably beat the Cardinals. I think there's going to be a ping pong on whoever makes it out of that division, and we'll see how it goes. But I think they're probably at a 7. Now it's you, Christopher.
Yeah, like I said, we all had them at a 7 last week. It's a tough mix-up. I know the Vikings aren't playing the Eagles right now in the first round of the playoffs, but it'd be those two teams versus the Lions in the AFC Championship game, from my opinion. Yeah, because they have Justin Jefferson, even though he didn't score a touchdown. They do have Jordan Addison, which is a great asset. And I would have them being the Cardinals. That's who they'd be playing, correct? Let me see.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, and I can't see the Cardinals beating the Vikings. Yeah, keep them at a 7. Because, yeah, they're still a good team. They have Aaron Jones, like I said, 2 great wide receivers in JJ and Addison. And then, we got Sam Darnold, who's looking – I mean, he had two interceptions, but let's not stray away from his almost 300-yard passing game, 3-touchdown game. Sam Darnold's doing work.
All right, Douglas, now it's your turn.
Yeah, I like the logic. They're also still a 7 for me as well.
Triple 7s, we got this.
Yeah, they're like not a team that I'd have a ton of confidence that they would beat, like the Lions. I don't know. There's some red flags for sure, but they're still a solid team, good defense. Like Chris was saying, lots of playmakers.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's the fun part we will discuss for next week, for this week? We got the Buccaneers losing in overtime right now. And I can't believe it, Chris. We'll start with you on how you feel about Baker Mayfield now going 4-5, but still cannot get that chinny chin chin of beating the Kansas City Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes. Did you guys ever watch that game with the highlights of Baker Mayfield versus Patrick Mahomes in college? It was Oklahoma versus he went to Texas A&M. Mahomes did.
Yes.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Yeah, it was one of the highest scoring college football games of all time.
Yeah,
I mean, that game went to overtime too, I do believe. But let's digress. Yeah, Baker Mayfield, man. I'm in a bowling league on Mondays. There's a bar in our bowling league. I left after the game was 24-17. And then I got home. I was like, no way, this game went to overtime. But then Baker Mayfield lost the coin flip, and his head just went up. Like, yeah, when you give the first possession of Patrick Mahomes in overtime or any situation like that, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard mountain to climb. Sure enough, that's exactly what it is.
No, that's a good question, gentlemen. Should they have gone for 2? Or are we 2? Or are we 2?
In a situation like that, no, just tie the game. Yeah, I mean, if you're going, you just gotta tie the game, you know.
Yeah, So
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. So I think with how their offense was moving, if they got the coin flip, I think it was whoever got the ball first type of thing, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. Had Baker gotten the ball first, I think he would have drove down there, got a field goal, or a touchdown. Obviously, a field goal doesn't win the game. But yeah, right now the Buccaneers. Let's see, they'd be 11th seed. They've lost 3 in a row. Man, they started the season 4-2. Oh wow,
they were not in the postseason. They would be our 11th ranked as of right now.
Yeah, and they have a tough matchup next week. It's at home, but it's against the 49ers. And if CMC comes back for that game, it could be a different story. We all gave the Buccaneers a 5 last week. And honestly, the way they played against the undefeated Chiefs in Kansas City, I know they're 11th ranked, which is pretty bad. But you sent the Chiefs to an overtime. Yeah, the way they played, current market value, I'm going to keep them at a 5. They would just miss the playoffs. But yeah, it's going to be a big game next week against those 49ers.
All right. Now, Douglas, it's your turn.
Yeah, that's a tough team, I think. But I agree with Chris. I think there's still a team like they're playing really competitive without their 2-star receivers. I mean, they would have beaten a lot of teams playing like they did. I'll keep them at a 5 as well. I think if they can get someone healthy, they're a team that not a lot of people are going to want to face.
Yeah. And I feel like this is like a tough one because I feel like for me, they're in that 5 range, but then I'm like thinking, are they worse than are they in the same bad where I feel like Seattle is at? Or do I think, are they in Chicago? Are they in that Chicago, LA, like mid spot? Like this is like, for me, it's like they're in that weird middle spot. They did get close to the Chiefs. So I'll give them credit for that. I think because they went to overtime against the Chiefs, I'll give them the 5 right now. I don't give them much respect for that. Even without all the injuries, they did came close to this game. And now we got the Kansas City Chiefs, who are now officially, Chris, still 8-0, undefeated, the only undefeated team right now in the NFL as of right now. So, Christopher, you gave him a 9 last week. Let's be honest.
Yes, so you and I gave him a 9. Doug gave him an 8. I love that the Chiefs are 8-0 because they match the exact same record as my hometown Cleveland Cavaliers, who are also 8-0, but different sports. It doesn't matter.
Good call.
See, I'm gonna keep it at a 9. They're squeaking by with these games, and at the end of the day, as I always mention, a win is a win. You're 8-0 halfway through the season. Yeah, it's like I read something online the other day. You know, it's Tom Brady and the Patriots, pretty much a dynasty for X amount of years. Is that what the Kansas City Chiefs are lining up to do? But yeah, they're squeaking by with wins, and like I mentioned, at the end of the day, it's a win. So yeah, Chiefs. I'm gonna keep them at a 9.
All right, Douglas, what are your thoughts?
You know my thoughts.
9. Is this the week? Come on, Douglas.
It sure is not, Stu. So there was 2 teams that played this week. One of them, how much did the Ravens win by? Like 40? They won
41-10. They won by 31, and I love that. You always say this, Doug. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm staying strong on it. Like, I truly don't think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC. Like,
Doug,
I mean,
sorry, you always say that if it's a rematch, the Ravens might or will have the upper hand.
I like what the Ravens are doing. Like, the problem is, and the main difference is, and granted, this is what championship teams do. The Chiefs know how to win in crunch time, but they always get the calls. Like, there was a play at the end of the game where, I'm pretty sure that the announcers yelled out pass interference in real time, and the refs didn't do anything. And it happens like that time after time.
I got excited there. I know it was a pass interference, but there was a complete false start on the Chiefs. Yeah. It was the right tackle. Completely false start. And
yeah. And the announcer they wasn't even close. Do you think they throw any flags on the Chiefs at the end of a game? Of course not. They don't penalize them. The Chiefs get every opportunity. And they're winning. But I don't know, man. You put them up against a lot of teams. You put them Like they've had a lot of their hard games at home, of course, because that's what they always do. And like they haven't impressed. There hasn't been a single week where I'm like, wow, they look great. Like you can't tell me a team is a 9 when I've not once had the feeling of, wow, this team is dominant. Do you know who has dominated at times this year? The Ravens, the Bills. They're taking care of business. Like granted, the Ravens also have lost games.
But yeah, that's what I would argue. Like the Ravens had taken care of business, but then they randomly fluke and lose against the Browns. Like
that was dumb.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's the thing. Like
that was a dumb game for the Browns.
And like, there's an argument to be made, but if the argument is a guaranteed Super Bowl, you can in no way guarantee me the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. Like the Lions, they've won in Lambeau, they've won in Minnesota. They look like the most dominant team in the NFC by every metric from every person. That's a 9. A team that every week I'm like, man, oh man, like they're struggling. They're going to overtime. Then I sit there and watch the Ravens win by 31. I watched the Bills destroy. I'm like, I can't guarantee that this Chiefs team beats either of those teams. Like they have Mahomes, they have an edge, but I'm not going to guarantee that at all when I see how good the Ravens can look when they're firing.
All right. Now, I mean, this is going to be interesting, and I should ask this, Douglas. I mean, they would play against the Broncos. Then they would have 2 weeks. They got to play against Buffalo at Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
They beat them. Beat Buffalo. Would you beat them the 9? Even if it's a close game, even if it's overtime.
So still, we'll say this: if the Ravens lose again and they beat Buffalo, sure. If the Ravens are that inconsistent and they lose in that time, but I mean, if the Ravens keep dominating, I can't just automatically say that they'll beat the Ravens.
Yeah, but if the Chiefs beat the Bills in 2 weeks,
well, I just answered that question.
Okay.
I said if they beat the Chiefs and the Ravens lose again. If the Chiefs beat the Bills, but I need the Ravens to lose too. If they're winning by 31 points, they beat the Bills by 35 or 25. Like there's teams that look more dominant at times than the Chiefs. But the Chiefs know how to win, so I can't guarantee anything.
Low-key, I hope that rookie Bo Nix can go into it's not Arrowhead Stadium anymore. It's different. It's called something else now.
Yeah.
I hope rookie Bo Nix and the Broncos can go into Kansas City next week and beat the Chiefs. But
that would be spectacular.
We'll see how it goes. But I'm assuming, Douglas, you're going to give them the 8 for right now?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you know what? I'm keeping them at the 9. They're 8-0. This is Patrick Mahomes. I know they've been struggle busing. I know that they basically they did have to go to overtime. But
what is your definition of a 9, though?
I think they're going to the Super Bowl, and I would
I thought it was a guaranteed Super Bowl. Like, isn't it guaranteed to go to the Super Bowl?
I think they're guaranteed to go to the Super Bowl, and I still feel like the Kansas City Chiefs. And I hate this. This is they're the villains. This is the Death Star of football teams, but they still keep on winning, and I can never doubt Patrick Mahomes.
I cannot wait till the Chiefs lose so I can downgrade them from a 9 to an 8.
Yeah,
that's what happens. But I can't wait. Yes, sir, I agree. They're the villains.
They had a lot of struggle bus games, but you know what they did? They won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I would say. That I feel like, and I still feel like I'm maybe glancing in the eyes of like they still have until I think Patrick Mahomes loses a playoff game and is done, and we take it out of the shelf like Fido. The Kansas City Chiefs still got to give me a 9 for right now.
And dating back to last year, they've won 14 straight games.
Yeah,
they're great
in the playoffs.
So I will say this though. There's also a chance that the Buffalo Bills end up with the number 1 seed still. You know, I mean, they play at Buffalo still. The Chiefs maybe lose another game to the Chargers, perhaps. Maybe Jim Harbaugh has something up his sleeve. Maybe they lose another game. Wouldn't that be a bummer? I don't know, Stu. I don't know.
We'll see how it goes in this one, but
our stocks will change when that happens, if or when that happens. Absolutely.
If it happens or when it happens, like I said, I'm not going to count this team out until they're gone. That's why I always say it.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah. So, and now we're in the wagers of the week right now. Unfortunately, for the second coach getting fired, the NFC, none of us got wrong. I guess nobody picked the New Orleans Saints to be fired right over here. For eliminated teams, it's still looking like that.
You said Jaguars versus Patriots. Who won that game, or was that?
That was like 5 weeks ago. That was like 3 weeks ago. What we
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that was like 5 weeks ago. Well,
Um,
let's be honest. We don't need to really talk about that. But for the we still agree on the first eliminated. I still feel like the Patriots are definitely going to be the first eliminated. Douglas, Panthers chugging along. But honestly, both teams are just trash. It is just trashity, trash.
So the thing I'll say is I think it's harder to get eliminated in the AFC because didn't somebody say there's like 6 2-win teams in the AFC?
Yeah, there's 6 2-win teams in the AFC, and there's 3 2-win teams in the NFC.
Yeah, so I'd say therefore mathematically it's more likely to be an NFC team that's out first.
Yeah, then we'll see how it goes. We'll see who's going to get the number 1 pick. And
Heck
now
yeah.
we got some Bucks. We got some Buccaroonies like right now. So Douglas, we still kept the Dolphins at a 2. We still kept the Brownies at a 2. And the Jets did move up right there. So you got an extra $1 right now since they moved up to the 2.
Ooh, $17.
$17 right now. And now we got, unfortunately, for Christopher, nothing really changed with the Cowboys.
Let's see, the Cowboys moved. We kept the Cowboys at a 3.
Yeah.
And the Titans moved up to a 2. So I get $1. So I'm at 17.
Let's go. And then didn't we move up the Bengals by 4?
Yeah, we moved the Bengals up to a 4.
So we got 20.
So that's $2+ right there.
Oh yeah, that's
I think everything else stayed the same.
Yeah, so the Bears. Let's see. The Bears we kept at a 5. So yeah, sir, you get 2. Oh, yeah, so sir, you're at $16.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Doug, you're at 17.
We are looking so good. So gentlemen, we got to look at this week for week number 10 right now, gentlemen. Ooh, we got a good Baltimore Ravens one. All righty. So we'll start with you, Douglas. What are you feeling like some wagers for your 17 Buccaroonies? Or do you want to keep your stocks as of right now?
Oh, man, these are great questions. Man, who do the Jets play next week? Do we know who the Jets are playing?
They got to play against the Cardinals.
Jets are playing in Arizona against the 5-4 Cardinals.
And the Dolphins are playing against the Rams. And then is the Browns playing this week?
The Browns are off. The Browns, Packers, Raiders, and Seahawks all have a bye week.
So
I'm going to make a controversial move. I think I'm going to stand pat. I'm going to take some chances on the Dolphins winning in LA and the Jets winning in Arizona.
And I'm assuming you want to get rid of your Brown stock, correct?
No, it's okay. Well, who do we? Oh, let me think. Let me think who I want as a 2.
Yeah.
Oh man, see, I don't know that there's anybody that I want over the Browns. Let's see here. I wish the Cowboys were 1 cheaper.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of all the teams we gave a 2. We gave a lot of 2s.
See, Jaguars are 2, Titans are 2, Raiders are 2, but they have a bye week. I do believe.
1.
Panthers are 2, Browns are 2, but they have a bye week, and the Dolphins are 2.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins play Monday night.
Yeah, I'll sell my Browns. I'll take another Dolphins.
So you're gonna sell your Brownies, and you're gonna put in 1 more to the Dolphins, correct?
Yep, and then my Jets should be $3 a piece. So I should have 4 of those, 3 of the Jets for $17.
Oh yeah, so 3 for the thing, and then 4 for the Jets.
No. Wait, yeah, I'm saying that they should be worth $3 a piece.
Oh, sorry.
So
yeah, Jets moved up 3.
No, math doesn't add up. That should be a 3, and then the Dolphins. I want 4 shares of the Dolphins.
All right, you want 4 shares of the Dolphins?
9. Yeah, you're right. All right.
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, we got the switcheroonies right here. I was just gonna cut that and then put it right here, right there. Make it nice. All right, Christopher, what is your wager of the week?
Let's see. Who was I looking at? I'm trying to make this quick. I have $17. You can sell all my stocks. I'm gonna go on fresh off the rip. I got 17 to play with. Chargers are at a 6. I don't see them moving up. So here's what I'm gonna do. 49ers. 49ers. They are currently at a 5.
But do you think they're going to make the posts? Do you think they're going to?
I mean, is CMC going to play this week? If he is, give me 3 49ers stock at $5 each, and I have $2 to play with. So let's see, who's the 2? Panthers in Germany or against the Giants.
But do you think they're going to be at 3? That's a good question.
I don't think the Panthers can actually win 2 games in a row. Jaguars, they have a tough matchup because they're going to lose at home against the Vikings. Titans are playing in Los Angeles against the Chargers. Patriots, who are those guys even playing? Patriots are playing against the Bears in Chicago.
You got to know.
Raiders have a bye week. Giants. Oh, here we go. So here we go. I'm going to do 1 stock for the Giants because they're at a 2 right now.
Yes. So wow, you are going for the Giants. Hopefully, for that one for the wager.
So yeah, that should be 17 because you have 5, 15. No, Giants only get 1 stock.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I just want to make sure we're all squared away.
Yeah.
So yeah, 15. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 1, that's 17 right there.
All right. So my thing, I think I want to keep. Because the Bengals are now at 4.
Oh, good take. Yeah, the Bengals. Oh, the Bengals play
the Ravens
in Baltimore.
That
was a good take until I realized who they're playing and where they're playing at.
Yeah, but are they going to do a weird fluky win against Baltimore? Does Baltimore have that weird random fluky loss?
Well, Stu, if you're rooting for the Chiefs to be a 9, you're kind of hoping so, huh?
Yeah.
When's the last time Baltimore has lost 2 straight games? And Joe Burrow, he just had a 5 touchdown game. Is he going to stay hot?
Yeah.
Well, the Ravens just won 41-10.
Yeah, but that's why. But they did lose to the Browns also.
But when's the last time? Yeah.
Well, Stu, somehow the Steelers lost to the Cowboys. Sometimes the NFL doesn't make sense.
Yeah, sometimes the NFL does not make any sense. That is a true point. Sometimes the NFL, you're just confused. So I'm gonna probably give 2 stocks right now to the Bengals right now. I'm feeling definitely going 2 stocks right now. I think they can go up to that 5. I'm gonna probably give. Okay, so I have $8. I have $8 left.
You're at 8. You have $8 left. Correct.
I think I'm gonna probably go with Chris. I'm gonna go with $2. I'm gonna go 2 shares for the Giants.
So you have $4 left.
I have $4 left. Are there any 4s that I feel like would somehow?
So median, we gave the Bengals a 4, but you already took them.
You know what?
We gave the Seahawks a 4. That's the only team we gave a 4.
I think.
And the Seahawks are on a bye.
Oh yeah. Did you give the Rams a 4 or a 5?
No. We gave the Rams a median of
5.
Where'd they go here? Yeah, we gave them a 5.
Okay, so I can't use the Ram stock. Boo. I'm trying to think what would be a good
Oh wait, no.
What's a good squeaker team that I feel would
you could do 2 of the Dolphins still.
I could do 2 of the
Dolphins. Saints versus the Falcons. Well, actually, this because you could have 4 stocks for the Saints because they're at a 1. But
I don't feel confident.
I mean, you won't lose money because you can't go to a 0.
Yeah, that is true. I cannot lose any money.
The Saints going from a 1 to a 2.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. These 4 teams are just looking kind of mid. I'm not putting the Cowboys. I do not feel confident that the Cowboys I think maybe I'll go one. Is the Seahawks playing or not? No, the Seahawks have a bye.
Yeah, Seahawks are on a bye.
Damn, I just feel like I can't. You know what?
You can go four stacks for the Giants. That would even it out at 8.
Yeah, you know what? I might go 4 for the Giants. And
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, I'm just thinking about it. I think I'm going to go 4 stocks for the Giants. There's no other team I'm just feeling confident right now.
Wow.
I don't really feel like there's any team I'm like, oh, upset or anything like that. So, and that is the week, gentlemen. We got it done. So, do you have any final thoughts about this?
Go Giants, I guess, because Stuart, you and I have them both.
Yeah, we got to go Giants.
I think it's a fun season, Stu. You know, there's teams that are starting to rebound, like the Bengals and the Rammies and the Cardinals. And there's teams that are slowly falling off. So it'll be a fun week of football. Looking forward to it.
Another final thought is we're going into week 10. This playoff picture is starting to form a little bit better. Obviously, week after week, it's going to be better. And I'm excited for those Eagles. That Eagles-Cowboys game is going to be fun to watch it, especially if you're an Eagles fan. So, yeah.
No, it's not gonna be fun.
Or if you're any fan but the Cowboys.
No, not gonna be
fly,
fun.
Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles fly.
Boo, boo. We're ending this string. Boo. I just gotta say, I just hope that
Also, I'm definitely more excited to watch America's team.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh yeah, they play on Sunday night, right?
Sunday night in Houston against those Texans.
Oh yeah, give us another tough road win. Let's do it.
Sir, any final thoughts from you? Doug and I gave our thoughts.
I just gotta say, why is my cow? Why do I have this? I just say cancel the NFL season.
Sir, your team's doing bad. My team's doing equally as bad.
Let's cancel the season. That's how I feel.
At least one of our
cancel
teams.
the podcast because of all this drama.
Dude, that's the most Cowboys thing ever. You don't cancel the season on Detroit, okay? Just because Detroit finally has something good doesn't mean the season has to end. Boo. Boo, let us have nice things.
Yeah, poor sportsmanship, Stuart.
What, dude? Jeez Louise. What a guy.
But anyway, I will always say it. I will catch you later, Mr. Gator. So as always, take care, everybody. And as always, bye-bye.